Hello my dear friends, hope everyone is doing well. I'm sure you are. Welcome to PMC. My name is Parinitha Patri and I'm here to give you this brand new episode, these beautiful sessions of Spiritual Glossary, my dear friends, where we understand the terms, the vocabulary, the words of spirituality and materialistic life from a new viewpoint. So today's episode of Spiritual Glossary, we are going to understand about hypnotism. What is hypnosis and what is hypnotism? This is the very famous word of hypnotism. But let us understand hypnotism from a different perspective, from a new perspective. And this is what Torkom Saraydarian talks about hypnotism. And here it goes. Hypnotism is a forcing process and it is done without the conscious acceptance of the subject. The thought form built in the mind is an imposed force from the outside. Thought forms built without conscious awareness work like independent entities within the mind and eventually produce cleavages in it. Cleavages diffuse the mind and the human soul enters into confusion. A confused mind works against its own survival. In hypnotism, the memory banks are impressed with new words and the brain is forced to remember them. But the power of concentration is not cultivated. This process creates very artificial states in the mental realms and causes great tension on the brain cells. Hypnotism is a major cause of physical and psychological problems. The subject not only registers the suggestions given to him as orders and commands, but also he registers very subtly the thoughts and desires of the hypnotist. He may even register thought forms floating in space which have some association with the movement and relationship to the suggestions given. Thus, after he is returned to consciousness, he may be loaded with many post-hypnotic suggestions, of which the hypnotist has no knowledge and for which he apparently holds no responsibility. Hypnotism is imposition, my dear friends. Hypnotism is a wrong effort to reach the soul because it pushes away the soul and replaces him by a hypnotic command. In such a case, the unconscious friction between the post-hypnotic suggestion and the soul becomes a source of irritation and imperil. And hypnotism is an art carried from the Atlantean race by those who have not been able to break the Atlantean consciousness or the focus, which is astral. In early Atlantean days, this art was performed mainly in hospitals and it was a successful tool to heal the ills of the bodies and emotions of those who did not have souls. In hypnosis, the unit of awareness steps out from the sphere of this body through the solar plexus and enters into the lower strata of the astral world. What is self-hypnotism now? Till now we have understood what is hypnotism. Now what is self-hypnotism? In self-hypnotism, the nature of the bodies does not improve. The cause of distress is locked in and the recording mechanism is disconnected. In self-hypnotism, you are forcing a command upon your bodies, but you are not eliminating the deep-seated problems within. Actually, the word self-hypnosis is an incorrect term. A man who tries to hypnotize himself does not know what the self is. To him, his self is his body, and perhaps the dominating urge of his body, or it is an emotion, an illusion, a glamour, a desire or thought. How then does a man dare to hypnotize his vehicle if he does not own it and if he does not know who he is? Self-hypnotism is an imposition upon your thoughts and feelings, upon your physical, emotional and mental vehicles. Now let us understand hypnotic suggestions. What are these commands or hypnotic suggestions? They are recordings which act as a forceful urges which in any way re-stimulated. They are registered as blind urges and commands under circumstances in which we are not conscious because of a physical pain or accident, because of emotional stress and pain, because of a state of extreme happiness or excitement, or because we are in grief, depressed, or suffering the loss of a loved one. Hypnotic suggestion is always a violation, whether it is termed bad or good. People have very peculiar notions about pain and suffering. They think that pain and suffering expand their consciousness and make them more human. But the thing that they learn during the time of pain and suffering become post-hypnotic suggestions in their minds. Later, they act under those post-hypnotic suggestions. So, we have learned about hypnosis from Challenges for Discipleship, from Irritation, the Destructive Fire, from the Hidden Glory of the Inner Man, from the book called Psyche and Psychism, and another book called Cosmos and Man. So, you can refer to these books further. If you have any other information that you want, you can go and find and read these books. These books are written by Torkom Saraydarian. So, this is the spiritual glossary, my dear friends, that I am taking the examples or meanings or definitions or significances, whatever you may call it, is this book that I am taking it from. So, do make an effort to read the books. So, today's episode is spiritual glossary, my dear friends. Today we have learned about hypnotism, what is self-hypnotism, and what are post-hypnotic suggestions. I'll meet you again for the next episode of Spiritual Glossary, my dear friends. Till then, take care of yourself. Namaste.